Intel introduced two new x86-64 instruction sets this week called Intel APX that provide better efficiency for the x86-based workloads, and AVX10 supporting the AVX512 across all cores of hybrid processor designs. AVX10 replaces the AVX512 but remains backward compatible. What do these mean for the battle between Intel and AMD, Stephen?
Yeah, there's two things going on here. So first, on the APX, this is all about Intel trying to push forward in terms of performance. So APX, the big deal here is that they're adding new registers and register-based operations, which should result in higher performance. This is more of an Intel, Intel adding more more instructions to the already pretty heavy x64 world. But frankly, these are some instructions that are pretty useful because essentially register loads, register moves, and so on. These are things that happen quite a lot in everyday computing, and APX has a lot of useful tools that ought to accelerate performance. So I think that once this gets implemented, once we have servers that support this and compilers that support this, it'll help Intel launch a little bit forward in terms of overall CPU performance, which of course Intel loves. Not sure yet if AMD is going to adopt these instructions, but maybe they will. On the other hand, AVX10, I think, is an interesting thing because it shows, another aspect of the battle between AMD and Intel. So as we've talked about on the rundown, Intel announced a sort of a performance and efficiency core strategy, heterogeneous computing, where in the same chip, it'll have two different core types. It'll have a performance core and an efficiency core. One of the aspects of that that's been a little challenging is that the efficiency cores and performance cores don't support all the same instructions. And one of those big instructions is AVX512. This is, an advanced vector math instruction set that has been very useful in machine learning tasks and so on. But the fact that the efficiency cores don't support these commands means that, frankly, they may not get as much used, because if dynamically the system is switching between performance and efficiency, and if it can only use these commands on one type of core, that means that it can't dynamically switch between performance and efficiency. On AMD's part, they have not gone the E-core route, and instead, with Bergamo, what we've seen is sort of a stripped down performance core, a compressed, compacted performance core that allows them to pack more cores in, but they're not a different core type. They're really the same Zen 4 cores that you might see across the rest of the AMD line. So importantly, that means that they all support the same instruction set. So Intel, by doing AVX10, one of the things that they're doing here is they're trying to bring a little bit of homogeneity to their heterogeneous compute instruction sets by bringing these AVX512 commands to the efficiency cores. It's not happening right now, but it will happen. And I think that what we're seeing here is essentially the next, the next round of development in this whole battle between AMD and Intel, and between performance and efficiency cores and accelerated commands and so on. And frankly, this is going to help because it will help the adoption of that sort of heterogeneous compute architecture by having at least some of the same commands supported on both sides.